And those of us that kind of bought into it and get into this people-pleasing, perfectionist kind of mindset and needing to constantly prove ourselves. And I just wrote a post on LinkedIn about how professionalism is a woman's nice girl training.
Welcome to my podcast, Over 40 and Fabulous, a show that helps you live your best life no matter your age. I'm Robin Thomas, lifestyle and wellness expert and a community leader in holistic health. I'm the founder of Living Well Connections, a healthy living community that supports, educates, and empowers us all to make healthy decisions toward a more balanced and fulfilling life. Today's guest is Deidre Beacham, founder of Deidre Beacham Speaks, LLC. She's a visibility catalyst and rebel mentor. Creator of the Medusa Effect, she dismantles nice girl training, perfectionism, and performance conditioning. Through her forges, she mentors women to reclaim sovereign power, unleash their unfiltered voice, and lead without apology. Welcome to the podcast, Deidre.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I'm so happy. We have known each other a long time.
It has been a long time.
Little breaks with moves, but it's wonderful to be local again.
Oh, I'm so happy to be back, and it was just so great to run into you and have lunch. It was absolutely a treat.
It was. Well, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing now, and maybe start off a little bit with why you're doing this. You mentioned nice girl training, and
yeah,
there's got to be a story behind that.
There is a story behind that. I found myself, in my, we all have these healing journeys, if you will. And I found myself at what a lot of people would have thought was the peak of success. And this has happened a couple of times in my life, kind of getting to a peak of success and then going, well, that's not exactly what I wanted, going for something else. And along the way, I realized that as successful as I got, there were instances in my life where I found myself not being this powerful, vivacious woman that I thought I was. And in those moments, I felt small, and I felt insecure and angry with myself that I didn't just stand up for myself in that instance, or I didn't go for something that I thought was good for me, but just scared me a little bit. And I would get angry at myself. And over time, the older I got, the more shame I felt. How could I possibly still be struggling with this? How is that possible? And watching people, and of course, everybody just shows their best foot forward. And so you don't hear the behind the scenes stories of people struggling with their things. And so I'm sitting here focused on this thing I'm struggling with and watching people move forward. And I felt more and more shame. So in figuring that out, overcoming that shame, I recognized patterns of conditioning, not only in my life, but in other women's lives as I interviewed them. And in that process, I called it nice girl training. There are these sets of rules that girls learn, and it's not all girls. That shocked me.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of girls, but I was shocked that it's not all girls. But that most of us get, and then gets reinforced by school, religion, parents, teachers, bosses, companies, society, media. And those of us that kind of bought into it and get into this people-pleasing, perfectionist kind of mindset and needing to constantly prove ourselves, even if we've already done it.
Yeah. I always thought that was a Southern thing.
Yeah, turns out not.
Because I'm definitely raised as a people pleaser.
And so I call that nice girl training. And, and then of course that's all reinforced by the rules of polite society. And I've written all this down, what this training is and what the rules of polite society are, and they just kind of fit in. And I just wrote a post on LinkedIn about how professionalism is a woman's nice girl training. So professionalism is the next step. So anyway, just interesting concepts, but that's where that comes from. And in healing that and overcoming that and developing the concept trigger tripping, which allowed me to overcome some of the insecurities I felt around some people because they were narcissists. And I didn't realize that my brain had actually been chemically altered by the presence of narcissists in my life. And so I went on this search for a way to combat it. And so now that's what I help women with who are successful and moving forward in their lives, but there's something that keeps getting them stuck. And in most cases, it's something I've been through. And if it's not me, then I recommend somebody else, because I really work very hard to ensure that I'm only working with people that have had the issues that I've had, because I look at it more of a mentorship than a coaching.
Oh, I like that. That's a kind of a new approach. Than what I have seen in the past.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. So I think it's important.
I like that. Can you tell us a little bit more about the trigger tripping? That's enticing to me. It's like,
yeah, it's interesting because we're all taught to respect our triggers, right? And so we're supposed to put warning signs up, be careful, this could trigger you, trigger warning. And, except we get triggered in our lives, right? Just life is triggering. Right? And the more you've been raised as a people pleaser, and the more you've had those types of experiences, and I don't care how intelligent you are or how far you've gone along in your career, it can happen to you. It's something that you carry forward with you. It's kind of like unwritten programming in your brain. And it feels almost impossible to get over or to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular narcissist in my family, every time I spent any time with this person, oh my God, just alarm bells. I don't even know if I call them triggers. So just these alarm bells going off inside of me, and I would get angry or upset. It was like a switch. It's
just like that warning.
Yeah. And I started asking myself, I started getting really, really curious. And this is the concept behind trigger tripping, is that instead of giving in to whatever that reaction is, or trying to necessarily control it, but to instead get very curious about it. So, okay, so that just really triggered me. I mean, I'm feeling angry and I'm feeling like he's the most horrible person in the world. So it was, examine, be curious about this. Okay, so let's push all of that aside. What am I really upset about?
Mm-hmm.
But what was that made this switch go off? What was it? And in examining that, it was really fascinating, because I realized that they were things that I had fixed in myself, and I was upset that he hadn't caught up.
Oh.
Right.
Right.
And well,
why hasn't he reached this level that?
Yeah. Why is he still blaming me, treating me this way when I've obviously fixed that? How is he not up here understanding that I've already fixed that? How many times do I have to prove to him? How many times do I have to prove to him? He listened to that language. Oh my goodness. In my 50s, I was thinking this. What do I have to prove? The most beautiful story I heard, and I thought this example was beautiful because it just kind of opened my eyes. And somebody was talking about how cutting things can come from a narcissist. And it's almost like there's this special hold they have on you.
Mm-hmm.
And not on everybody, they don't have it on everybody, but on some of us they do. And I was one of those people. I now consider myself a dark empath because of him. But so it was this really cool story that I heard, and it helped to reframe how I thought about things that he said. This person was talking about how they had a narcissist in their life, and they said, think about it this way. If somebody went up to you and said, oh my goodness, if I said to you, Robin, okay, your hair is kind of white, right? Grayish white.
Kind of
right?
white.
So if I went up to you and I said, oh my gosh, Robin, your purple hair, it is so hideous. Right? It's amusing. It's amusing. Like, what's wrong with me? I'm looking at your purple hair. You don't have purple hair. So what's wrong with me? And so it's amusing. It connotes a laugh. It's a chuckle. It's like, what are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
It has nothing to do with me.
Exactly. Has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took that back with me. And so the next time he said something, and again, I got curious about it. Okay, well, how did that affect me? Well, it didn't. It didn't affect me because he's not even talking about me. That's not even who I am. Who is he talking to? and it changed everything. Suddenly this thing that had been a trigger for me is suddenly not a trigger. It's like, okay, well, this is obviously your issue because I'm good. You're obviously not talking about me.
You've already helped me.
And so you can use this. It doesn't have to be a relative. It could be a boss. It could be an employee. It could be a coworker. I mean, you can use trigger tripping and use that story and realize that, and why are you trying to prove yourself to them anyway? That was the thing that I was like, why am I trying to prove myself? I have another story about that if you want another story about that. Dr. Glenda Claire?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Love Dr. Glenda Claire. And Dr. Glenda Claire is very blunt. Just love her. We're driving up to New York, and I'm telling her a story about this person in my life because I was still struggling with it at the time. This was last year. This is not that long ago.
It's not
this
10
is
years
last
ago.
year. Yeah, last year. We're driving up to New York. And on the way back, I was like, oh my gosh. I said, he wrote me. And she's like, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to say back. And she looked at me and she said, why are you writing back? Oh, I mean, the nice girl in me just, oh.
Oh my.
I not write back? I mean, that's just rude. And how could I be rude? And all these things, these stories that were in my head. And so I got curious about it. And I was like, oh, this all goes along with nice girl stuff that I've been talking about, that I've been, working on. It's so funny. You start teaching about something and it shows up in lots of different areas.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
And that was, I looked at her and I said, well, I kind of have to. And she said, who says you have to? Who?
I can hear her voice now.
Right? Did you?
Yeah.
Who told you that? Who's telling you that? It's not my voice telling you that. I was like, oh wow, whose voice is it telling me that? Because I would love to do nothing but not reply because what he was writing me was rude. Why am I replying to him? Oh, the freedom. The freedom. And that was when I came up with the difference between what is being nice and what is being kind. So nice is not in conscious existence, right? So every time I did something to be the nice girl, I was not in my body, in congruence with my body and what I believed and felt, I was doing what I thought and knew and was the nice thing to do, right? Not real conscious existence. Kind, on the other hand, is keeping integrity and necessary defiance.
Right.
So it's keeping integrity with yourself. That's being kind.
That's so
And
important.
you can be incredibly kind to somebody else, but you don't need to be nice, because nice means that if they're nasty to you, you're not allowed to be nasty to them, because nice girls only say good things. You don't say anything at all if you don't have something good to say.
That was ingrained into me.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't say anything unless you can say something nice.
That's right. That's like law. That's one of the good girl laws, right? You don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Right.
Right. Good girls don't cause problems.
Right.
So these things are ingrained in us. But those aren't our voices. Those are all voices to get us under control. And they are still playing tapes in our minds. And so that is what my work is all about, is undoing those tapes.
How wonderful. How wonderful. You mentioned, okay, is this the Medusa effect?
So the Medusa effect is kind of like the next stage, right? So the Medusa effect is the all embodiment of understand on a high level. Let me get really high here.
Yeah.
On a very high level, the Medusa effect is getting to that place where you're doing this work on an active basis, so that things aren't triggering you. Right? The news isn't triggering you. Is it disturbing? Yes. Am I aware? Yes. But it's not.
There's a difference between the conscious, this is disturbing, and the visceral reaction of being triggered.
That the anxiety riddled, anxious reaction. And what happened was, I was researching for a play that I was writing, and I'm still working on it. It's just evolved. So it's called the Medusa Chronicles. And the idea was, we've been lied so much to about our history. And I thought, oh my gosh, what if we were lied to about Medusa? Right? Supposedly, she has two sisters, and supposedly, the three sisters, her two sisters are immortal, but Medusa's not. Okay. That Medusa, she's raped in Athena's temple. Oh, look, she gets blamed by Athena for her own rape. Shocking. And then she goes off, she's shunned. She's told that, she can turn people to stone, and she's shunned, and she's ugly, and she's got snakes for hair, and she's this hideous, horrible, ugly creature, and sends her off into this cave, and let's go kill her, and people show up, and all these men die, and then Hercules shows up and cuts off a little piece of one of her snakes, and goes off and defeats a whole kingdom. So I'm like, okay, wait. So the more I learned about Medusa, the more I saw how she actually mimics us. Okay, so what if we were lied to about her? What if she was a beautiful woman, because all women are beautiful? What if she goes and of course Athena blames her, and she doesn't leave because she's shunned. She leaves because she's got to get her shit together. Man, you get attacked by a man, your life changes. It just changes everything. And the last thing you want to do is hang out with a bunch of people who aren't being supportive of you. So, I consider that her healing stage. So she goes off into it's kind of her healing stage. She kind of goes and she heals, and I think that all of those men were men that just thought that they were bigger, better than her. And, and so they went out to go and date her, and she turned them down. And they turned this into this big story about how she's just this horrible, ugly,
that's
nasty
what they do.
creature.
That's what they do. You turn them down,
right?
And it's like, you're not. Yes.
Right. And who's to say she was alone in that cave? I say that there was a whole wealth of women that just came to her defense and created a community, and they were all hanging out in the cave together. And when people came, she wasn't fighting these men off all by herself. She had a cave full of women that were fighting alongside her. Right. And then other men were coming to get information from her, grabbing off pieces of snakes of her hair. All she was doing was saying, go and do this and you will prosper. And they left and they prospered. Well, it can't be because she's brilliant. It must be because she's mythical.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Medusa effect is getting to the point where you are in your life a Medusa, misunderstood, but you're yourself. You're unique because you are letting yourself out. You're letting your inner Medusa out. You're forgetting about all the lies of society. You're not letting anybody affect you anymore. You're just you, and you're happy about it. And if somebody doesn't like that, that is their issue, and it's not your concern. Your concern are the people that you can help. And the people that you can help are the people that get you. You don't have to change yourself or mold yourself into some other person that you think that they want you to be to connect with them. Because when you are yourself, you will connect to the people who you are meant to connect to. It's a vibration. And that's the Medusa effect.
Awesome. I think we're living it right now.
Yes.
And sometimes we meet somebody and then it's like, you get tired of people telling you what to do.
Yeah. And why? Why are we letting other people tell us what to do?
Yeah. Why are we doing that?
Yeah.
Well, this is lovely. Okay, you had points you really wanted to make sure people got. Okay, I think we've done a lot of working on this one. Visibility is an inside job.
Yeah, I had always thought that visibility was all about,
it
was all about all that outside stuff. And and the way you looked and the way you presented your materials, the way you presented your marketing, that was all visibility. But you can have the best materials in the world. If you can't get it out there yourself, ooh, that's a huge invisibility block.
Right. Or social media, like, you don't have to be on hours and hours and hours.
You do not. You do not. But yeah, so to me, it's an inside job. Figure out who you are inside, and then it's not this performance you're doing for people. You are yourself showing up, and in that of itself is powerful and shows up in your presence without having to go through all this rigmarole of what you think people want from you.
Exactly.
Just you.
I thought it was just me getting old enough to finally went, hey, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be authentically me. And I'm going to, just focus on that. Focus on the internal.
Yeah.
So you also said your voice is your power. And here we are on a podcast.
Here we are. Well, it's true though. It's true. It's, I can write. I'm a very good writer, and I can write all day long, but whoever comes and reads what you write, and this is an email form, or if you're writing something on paper, or you're reading an article in a magazine, the way that is written and whatever intent you have is all based on that person's perception of what you're writing. So everybody that reads whatever you wrote, and that's email, this especially happens in text, where people will misunderstand the intention because not all of the information is there that you needed to convey the message. Your voice, though, your voice conveys so much. And there's power in that, especially now as we move into more and more AI, where you can put your voice into a machine and a machine can spit out a clone of you, sounding like you, looking like you. So how are we, as we move forward, to know if we're watching something real or watching a clone? And so my belief is that over time, this is going to become so much more important.
Mm-hmm.
Having real conversations, without, a whole list of, okay, well, this is what I'm saying now, and this is what I'm saying now.
Real connection.
Yeah, just having real connections with each other, and that we're going to have to start relying a lot more on what we feel when we're with somebody, because anybody can get a script off of AI and read from it and be whoever they want to be at this point.
Yeah.
But then when you get off of the phone, you get off of the video, at some point you're going to have a conversation with them, and that's who they really are. Sure would be nice to know who they were before you get to that point.
Yes.
And I think that's going to become more and more important. So I think that truly our voice is our power, and we sense that from each other when we can hear each other's voices.
Mm-hmm. And to me, it's more than hearing the voice. It's feeling the energy.
Yes, that. I completely agree.
Awesome. Well, your third point, it's right there. Liberation creates ROI. I mean, I feel liberated just talking to you.
Oh, thank you.
Because I'm thinking back on my own life and own things. And I'm like, oh, okay, check. Oh, yeah, I felt that. Oh, yeah. I've worked on it a lot. So
Sure.
I'm in a different place than I was when we first met, which
Sure.
was, I don't know, how many years ago was that? A long time ago.
It's gotta be
Over 15.
It's gotta be over 15. I was gonna say closer to 18 years ago.
18 years ago.
Probably about 18 years ago.
I'm really a completely different person than I was then. But so are you.
Yes,
And
me too.
so are so many of us. I mean, we all are. But if
Yeah.
we're being aware
Mm-hmm.
of ourselves.
Yeah. It's a huge part of it.
And
don't you think, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but don't you think, and don't you wonder that, I mean, it keeps showing up for me that a lot of the people that I see that are much more aware than others, or much more conscious in their growth, that there's a lot more people that are neurodiverse that are doing that. Anyway, it was just a curiosity. I don't have any data.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Find out.
It would be.
And you know me, I'm a data person. I like data.
So much of the stuff is going to have to be data driven ourselves. We're going to have to do our own studies because, the governmental ones are kind of shutting down and untrustworthy anymore.
Oh, yes. But I kind of think that if you're neurodivergent, which I probably am in some way, having two children who are very neurodivergent. But see, when I was a kid, I was named, I had other names about me. Robin is shy. Robin is too emotional. She cries at the drop of a hat. I cried because I was overstimulated by crowds and things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I can see it. But we come into our own if we're aware.
We do. Mm-hmm.
Well, have anything that I didn't ask you that you want to make sure you say, or anything just to summarize?
That is a good question. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. I probably should have thought of something. And I probably had something in mind at one point.
Well, there you are. You know what I say? I think Deidre is worth reaching out to, because when you're actually talking one-on-one with someone, that's when this works.
Yeah.
Really works. What is your favorite way for people to reach out to you?
Facebook is a great way. It's just my name, Deidre Beacham. I'm also on LinkedIn. So either of those places are probably the best way to reach me, either on Facebook or LinkedIn, and just ask to connect with me. And I'm also on YouTube and Instagram, but I don't really pay too much attention to those places for messages this much, but LinkedIn and Facebook, definitely.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put all those links. You gave me all the links, so I'll just make sure they're in the show notes so people can, watch us and then find out how to get in touch with you. Because I guarantee if you get in touch with Deidre, you're going to have a life-changing experience. Even if it's a small life-changing experience, it's going to be a seed that gets started.
Yeah. And there are no topics that are off limits. It's I've experienced so much, and I think that's, what, if there's one thing that I would leave, and this is something that somebody left for me, and it had a profound impact on my life, which is I got to a certain point in my life where I would say, I would grow to a new level, and I'd say, oh my gosh, why is this coming up again? I thought I dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so infuriating, and I would beat myself up. Now, I also didn't know I had ADHD, and so that fixed a lot of that, just because of the way my brain works. But every time I'd get to a new level, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what is wrong? Why am I dealing with the same thing? And my one of my mentors, 𝐍𝐢𝐜𝐞 𝐆𝐢𝐫𝐥, wow, she said, new level. She says, it's not new level, new devil. She says, I'm telling you right now, it's new level, same devil. She says, whatever you dealt with before, you're going to deal with again. It's just different. It just has a little different angle to it. It comes at you from a different direction. It surprises you. She says, but it's going to be there. Just expect it. It's normal. And that changed everything for me. I was like, oh, really? I'm not broken? I mean, seriously, that's how I felt. I felt like I was broken. What's wrong with me that I can't fix this thing? And we just get new opportunities to look at it a different way. And we're more braced for it, right? We've already learned how to deal with it in one respect. Oh, well, you didn't realize it affected you over here too. But take what you've learned over here and let's get rid of it here. Yeah. And so it's not something to be going, oh my gosh, here's going to come again. It's more of, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get to deal with this again and really put a button in it this time, and we'll see where it comes up next time.
That's how learning happens.
Yeah. It's just a different perspective. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, again, this has been a delight. Thank you so much. And
thank you, Robin.
We're going to chat again sometime really soon.
Absolutely. Love to.
For joining me at my Over 40 and Fabulous podcast. If this podcast has been helpful for you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with those in your life who need to hear this empowering message. And don't forget to download my free gift, 5 Ways to Get Started with Healthy Habits Without Getting Overwhelmed. This free guide leads you through 5 small steps that will allow you to ease into healthy habits until they become a natural part of your life. It's wonderful if you're just not quite sure how to get started. To get this helpful guide, go to robinthomas.biz/community support, and I will put it in the show notes too. drop in your email and it will arrive straight to your inbox. Bye for now, and I'll see you next